How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about Manchester United because it looks like Gareth Bale is on the radar if Jadon Sancho does not join from Borussia Dortmund. We're also going to be talking about Jurgen Klopp and Frank Lampard because their war of words against each other continues. And the last piece of news involves Arsenal, and Lucas Torreira could be on his way back to Italy and Torino.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So before we get started with today's show, you know what I'm going to say. DTFC on the DTFC YouTube channel. If you've not seen it already, our very first league game. Get yourself over there. Links are in the description. Loads of you have been over and left your comments already. You've let me know what you think about the team, the performance, and all kinds of different stuff. I've seen all of the comments. I've been interacting with some of you, so if you've not got yourself involved already, like I said, link is in the description. Get yourself over there and leave your comments, and I will respond to as many of you as possible. And most importantly, remember, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. So today's show, first place we're going to start is Manchester United, and it's this long running saga with Jadon Sancho and will he, won't he, and everything else. Well, an option, if Jadon Sancho does not join, is Gareth Bale. And I suppose this is a name that's been mentioned with Manchester United and has been mentioned with Manchester United for a number of years now. I feel that this is probably a transfer that's a few years too late, maybe. He's in his 30s now, don't get me wrong. Gareth Bale is still an exceptional footballer, and he could still do an exceptional job at Manchester United. But does Gareth Bale fit what Manchester United need right now? Jadon Sancho is a player that they would buy for the foreseeable future, for years to come. The project and what they want to build. Gareth Bale would kind of be a stopgap. Let's be honest about it. You would pay a ridiculous sum in wages and whatnot. We don't know what's going to happen with his contract situation with Real Madrid and everything else, and whether they'll let him leave. And we've seen what's happened between him and the club, and there's no love lost. That's, very evident. But Real Madrid seem like a club that are just deliberately digging their heels in and saying, you know what, if you want to try and say and do the things you do about being on golf courses and everything else, then we simply won't let you move. And they'll pay the wage as well and let him rot. And his career will be finished. And like I said, he's in his 30s now. Surely he wants to play some football. And I just feel that this would be a stopgap for Manchester United. Maybe at the moment, the fans could look at it and say this is something to build on and something that they could have for the now. But Jadon Sancho, for me, is the future. If you're going to sign someone like Jadon Sancho, it's for, what you're going to build as a football club. So it's an interesting one. And like I said, don't get me wrong, Gareth Bale is still an exceptional footballer and he could still do an unbelievable job at any team in the Premier League, in my opinion. But I just feel that this one is just a little too late in his career. Maybe 2 years or so ago when he was around about 29 would have been a great time to come back to the Premier League. He's won it all at Real Madrid, multiple Champions Leagues and everything else. Played with the best players, and you see why he left Spurs. It was justified. He left there because the only thing that he would have been involved in would have been an Amazon documentary. That's about it. But Real Madrid, despite what's happened towards the end here and, the bad feeling between the fans and the club and everything else, you can't deny what Gareth Bale's done whilst in Spain. And he probably won't, but I think he should go down as one of the greats of Real Madrid, in my opinion. A foreign player that's gone over to Spain, and he's succeeded. And you think of the goals that he scored and the assists he's made, and that Champions League goal as well, one of the greatest Champions League final goals ever, right up there coincidentally, with Zinedine Zidane. Remember back in the day when he scored that goal in the final against Leverkusen in Glasgow, I believe it was. That will go down as one of the greatest ever. And for me, Gareth Bale's one will go right up there as well. Right up there. But given the fact that he's not a local boy and somebody that's had a really nice relationship with the fans, I doubt he will go down in the history books as somebody that I will remember too fondly. But I think he should. But Manchester United, this is interesting. And let me know what you think, Manchester United fans. Gareth Bale, if Jadon Sancho don't sign, or do you go all out for Jadon Sancho? Let me know. Next piece of news involves Frank Lampard and Jurgen Klopp. Now, we saw before the end of last season when Liverpool played Chelsea and the bit of a spat, shall we say, on the touchline. And it was more to do with Frank Lampard and some of the backroom staff at Liverpool. Not so much Jurgen Klopp. But there's clearly something there. A little bit of ill feeling. Frank Lampard as a player has, won multiple trophies and everything else. And he made reference to, Liverpool winning their first Premier League. And they were getting a bit cocky and a bit too big for their boots. And this is what he was saying on the touchline. And I won't use some of the profanities that he was using, but I'm sure most of you have seen the video. But Jurgen Klopp has been speaking about, the recent spending of Chelsea and how much they've been spending. And Frank Lampard's returned and said that, Liverpool have done pretty much the same. Now, to pick the bones out of this would take me a whole show on its own. But to get to the long and short of it is that I actually agree with Jurgen Klopp in this instant. Because Liverpool, in terms of what they've spent, all right, let's just give you a rough idea so that people will know. But over the course of, I think, 4 years, it's around about the 350 towards 400 million pound mark in relation to Liverpool. It's actually 441, excuse me. And in Chelsea, since January 2016, it's been 813.2 million. And I think what Jurgen Klopp is getting at is that Liverpool have done it over a course of time. The big money signings they've brought in are a result of players they've sold. Now, a lot of Chelsea's players that they've recently bought, you could probably say that, yeah, that's to do with the Eden Hazard money. So similar to Liverpool in that respect. But Chelsea have been built on spending money. They've got to where they are and who they are because they won the lottery. Liverpool are who they are and where they are because they're Liverpool Football Club. It's the same with Manchester United, the same with Arsenal. Big clubs, big history, not winning the lottery. There's the difference, and that's why I agree with Jurgen Klopp on what he's saying. The other thing as well is that, everybody last year was praising Frank Lampard for the youth system at Chelsea. Now, I know that Chelsea have got a brilliant youth system. FA Youth Cups multiple times and everything else, but let's be real. A lot of them youngsters, they're at Vitesse Arnhem. They don't get a chance. The only reason why most of those players got a chance last season, all right, was because of their transfer ban. Tammy Abrahams wouldn't get nowhere near the Chelsea lineup if there wasn't a transfer ban. Mason Mount wouldn't get near the team if there was a transfer ban. The young lad Gilmore, I rate him. But how many chances will he get now? There's countless players that should be given a chance, but they're not. And now Chelsea can spend some money. Frank Lampard's just buy him. And what's really going to happen to the youth system and the young players coming through? Callum Hudson-Odoi, the big prospect. It's not even better than Saka. Behave yourself, man. What's going to happen to him? So I agree with Jurgen Klopp, like I said. And the pressure's on Frank Lampard, to be quite honest with you, because I don't care if he's a Chelsea legend. Roman Abramovich is a ruthless businessman. And if Frank is not succeeding and not fulfilling what that squad should be fulfilling, bye-bye, out the door. He will be out of the door. And if you're a Chelsea fan and you're getting so ahead of yourself at the moment, and I've seen some talking about league titles and everything else, relax. The amount of players that you've brought in, they've all got to try and gel. And it ain't easy. It ain't easy trying to gel 1 or 2 players, let alone 5 or 6. Alright? On what was, as well, remember this, a basic squad with a crap defence. Just remember that. And if it doesn't start working out for Frank, and I can see him out of the door. Can't say no more than that. Last piece of news involves Arsenal and Lucas Torreira. And something that I was reporting a little while ago as well. But it looks like now an agreement has been reached to sell Lucas Torreira to Serie A club Torino. And that's according to reports in Italy. The Gunners are willing to let the Uruguayan leave for a fee of around £22 million. And it seems their demands have now been met. Terms were reportedly agreed yesterday morning, but the player's contract details still need to be worked out before the transfer can be completed. Torino are expected to pay the fee for Torreira in stages and are financing the deal by selling defender Amado Izzo to Roma. Torreira's stay at the Emirates looks set to come to an end just 2 years after he arrived from Sampdoria. So yeah, I think this is one of the transfers that was pretty evident and pretty obviously going to happen. And it looks like Lucas Torreira is on his way out the door. I'm gutted it didn't work out for him because I thought that he was going to be something special when he first arrived. And those first 6 months just backed the claim as well. And then Unai Emery took over and he completely and utterly ruined him in that season when he decided to try and play him in a number 10 and everything else. And yeah, it's the best thing for Arsenal. It's the best thing for Torreira. I'll thank him for his time here. I wish him best, with his new career and everything else. And, brilliant little fella. And, I can't say no more than that, really. We get the money. He gets the move. Gets to go back to Italy. Everybody's happy. And it's as simple as that. So, there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. The Lampard and Klopp situation, Gareth Bale or Jadon Sancho and Lucas Torreira. Are you glad that Arsenal can let him go and use the money elsewhere? Or are you sad to see him go? Let me know. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And make sure you hit the subscribe button on the DTFC channel. Links are in the description. Make sure you leave a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.